Disturbing allegations against a doctor who worked at one of the top hospitals in Queens.
Dr. Zhi Alan Cheng. He's now accused of sexually assaulting several former patients and women that he dated. Investigators believe there were other victims in locations as far away as Thailand. Lizette Nunez has details this morning. What's going on, Lizette?
Good morning, Roseanne and Bianca. Prosecutors say Dr. Cheng is a predator and accused him of taking advantage of his patients. Investigators say they seized fentanyl, ketamine, and other drugs from his home, as well as videos of unconscious women being sexually assaulted in his apartment and at the hospital.
This is a doctor who preyed upon people's most vulnerable times. You go into a hospital, you expect treatment. At the very minimum, you expect trust. And so what this indictment alleges...
Queens gastroenterologist Dr. Zhi Alan Cheng is accused of being a serial rapist. A new 50-count indictment is based on encounters with the former doctor's patients and women he dated. He's accused of drugging and sexually abusing 3 patients while they were unconscious at New York Presbyterian Queens Hospital, plus 3 other women he met online while they were inside his Astoria, Queens apartment. Investigators say there are additional victims who they have yet to identify. The Queens DA says in these latest cases, Dr. Cheng used his cell phone to record the sexual abuse. Some of the videos appear to be taken in New York City, Westchester County, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and even in Thailand.
We have more than 6 other videos of women who are being abused. We are looking for the identities of those women. And so we're making a public appeal that if someone believes they might have either been under the influence or whether they believe that they may have been abused by this doctor, that they come forward to our office.
Investigators believe there was a grim pattern. Women were drugged and then woke up with no recollection of the attack. One patient accusing Dr. Cheng has filed a lawsuit against New York Presbyterian Queens Hospital.
She was admitted to the hospital in Queens in June of 2021 for stomach pains. He gave her an unknown substance through her IV, and she lost consciousness, and he sexually assaulted her. And while doing so, he recorded it with multiple videos.
A New York Presbyterian Hospital spokesperson said in a statement, "As caregivers, we are responsible for the safety and well-being of our patients. It is a sacred trust. The crimes committed by this individual are heinous, despicable, and a fundamental betrayal of our mission and our patients' trust. We are appalled and deeply saddened by what these victims and their families have endured." Dr. Cheng is being held without bail. If he's found guilty, he could face up to life in prison. His defense attorney says they are reviewing the evidence and cannot discuss the case yet. Roseanne and Bianca.
All right, Lizette, thank you for that update.
Tonight, a joint investigation by the News 4 I-Team and Telemundo Investiga uncovers unthinkable allegations of rape inside a New York City hospital. A doctor accused of drugging and sexually assaulting a female patient while recording it on his cell phone. And as Chris Glorioso reports, this is not the first time he's been accused of using anesthesia to commit sex crimes.
The allegations against Dr. Zhi Alan Cheng are so monstrous they could make a horror writer blush. The Queens physician is currently facing charges he drugged a woman using an unknown liquid and recorded video as he raped her in his apartment.
It sounded like a parent's worst nightmare, something out of a movie.
Now, Dr. Cheng is being accused of a second rape, only this time the alleged victim says she was his patient, and it happened inside New York Presbyterian Hospital, Queens.
I am scared. I no longer want to go to hospitals.
We'll call her Jane, and Jane spoke exclusively to the I-Team and Telemundo Investiga because she fears what happened to her might have happened to others. It was June of 2021 when Jane was a 19-year-old admitted to the hospital in Flushing. Her medical records show she needed her gallbladder removed, but the day before surgery in a hospital pediatric unit, Jane says Dr. Cheng unexpectedly injected her with an unknown drug. Immediately after the injection, she fell asleep, and when she woke up, the doctor was no longer in the room. That medical record also says she felt extreme pain to her lower abdomen.
It's not normal to be injected and not know what you were injected with and wake up in extreme pain.
Jane's attorney, Nicholas Liakis, says his client and her mother reported the suspicion something criminal had happened. They say they demanded to know what the doctor injected and even pointed Dr. Cheng out in an impromptu lineup at the hospital.
They put me in front of like 4 doctors and they said, identify who it is. I said him because he was there standing up.
So in the hospital, they did kind of a lineup of doctors.
They did.
And she pointed at who?
At the doctor, Dr. Cheng.
What does that tell you about how seriously the hospital was taking the complaint from this patient?
It tells me that at least the nurse would have believed something was wrong, because that's something that you see in a police station, not in a hospital.
New York Presbyterian declined to answer questions about the incident, but in a statement to the I-Team, the hospital said the crimes committed by this individual are heinous, despicable, and a fundamental betrayal of our mission and our patients' trust. We are appalled and deeply saddened by what these victims and their families have endured. The hospital said Dr. Cheng was fired in December of 2022 as soon as the DA revealed the criminal case. But it's not clear what, if any, action the hospital took in 2021 after Jane reported being drugged.
Is there any universe in which the hospital could credibly say, we had no idea?
No.
Jane's lawyers say the medical record proves hospital staff felt something was deeply wrong. It shows the hospital was searching security video and keycard access near Jane's room the day of the incident, and after the hospital assigned social workers to conduct a SAFE exam. That stands for Sexual Assault Forensic Examination.
You have essentially a predator in a white coat who is now lurking the hallways of a pediatric unit.
Dr. Cheng's defense lawyer told the I-Team the physician denies the criminal rape charges, and with respect to the rape allegation from his former patient, he said, our understanding is the hospital matter was investigated by the facility and no action was taken. Our client will defend these allegations should they be formally charged.
I wouldn't want anyone else to go through this.
Jane says she may never have fully known what happened while she was unconscious in the hospital were it not for a devastating call from prosecutors at the Queens DA's office. In December, DA Melinda Katz secured this indictment against Dr. Cheng, alleging he video recorded that rape in his apartment. While investigating that, Jane says prosecutors found another video that showed her hospital assault a year earlier.
What does that say to you about the likelihood of more victims?
Someone to rise to this level where you're drugging a person and raping a person, that doesn't happen overnight.
Dr. Zhi Alan Cheng is now locked up on Rikers Island without bond, awaiting trial on that rape charge from last year. Jane is now suing New York Presbyterian Hospital, and she's demanding the hospital alert all of Dr. Cheng's former patients that he's been accused of using anesthesia to commit sexual assault. Chris Glorioso, News 4 New York.